In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all thanks and praise be to Allah, the Lord of the mankind. Our dear students, peace be upon you all and good morning. Our English session today is for grade 3rd secondary scientific and literary section. Let's complete what we explained before, talking about the past. As we agreed before that we can talk about the past in different ways. We can use the past simple or past perfect. I told you before the difference between the past simple and past perfect. We use the past simple when we are talking about an action that started and finished in the past. Action started and finished. Started and finished. Okay? We use the past perfect also to talk about an action that started and finished before another action in the past. Before another action in the past. So, when we had two actions happen in the past, if I want to use the two actions in only one sentence using a question word or a connecting word, we can use the past simple and past perfect. To differentiate between them, the first action or the action which happened first is past perfect. The second action or the action which happened next must be in the past simple form. How to form the past perfect? As we agreed before, the form subject had, past participle or apostrophe D, short form, negative hadn't. First, my mother cooked food, then our guests arrived. These two actions in the past simple. I want to use after, as we agreed before that after must be followed by past perfect, so after my mother had cooked food, as we agreed that we drop first and then our guests arrived. My mother had cooked food, it's the first action. Our guests arrived is the second action. How can we use before? Before is the opposite of after, so when we want to use before, we drop after. Before. After followed by past perfect, past simple, but before is the opposite. Before our guests arrived, my mother had cooked food. Okay, before followed by past simple, the second action past perfect. Another example. Before I went to bed, I had finished decorating my room. If I want to use till or until, these two words has nearly the same meaning, but when we use them in the middle, till or until. In the middle, they must be followed by past perfect. The first action must be past simple negative. Past simple negative. How can we make a sentence in the past in the negative form? We use subject, didn't, followed by the verb in the infinitive form, or wasn't and weren't. Until, we use until or till between the two sentences. They must be followed by past perfect preceded by past simple negative. For example, before I went to bed, I had finished decorating my room, so I didn't go to bed. Until I had finished decorating my room. So we used until in the middle of the two sentences. It must be followed by had and past participle, past perfect preceded by past simple negative. After, before can also be followed by verb ing. After, before, they are preposition. So when a verb comes directly after a preposition, it's usually in the ing form. So after and before followed by verb ing when there is no subject. When there is no any subject, after, before followed by verb ing. For example, before reading the story, I had written the letters. After and before followed by verb ing when there is no any subject. Before, we don't have any subject. We don't have I, we, you, Ali, Ahmed, and so on. So the verb must be in the ing form. As we agreed, when a verb comes directly after a preposition, it's usually in the ing form. The last thing is having. Having has the same meaning as after. Having has the same meaning as after, but it must be followed by past participle. For example, having. Can we say having I had written? No. Can we say having had written? No. Having must be followed by the past participle. Having written the letters, I read the story. Okay, having has the same meaning as after, but it must be followed by past participle. You are having written the letters, I read the story. To sum up, the past perfect had apostrophe d or hadn't. After followed by past perfect, past simple, till and until. We use them in the middle between the two sentences. They must be followed by past perfect preceded by past simple negative. Okay, after, before must be followed by verb ing when there is no any subject. Okay, having must be followed by past participle directly. Okay, thank you and goodbye.